Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome,
Hi,
welcome, welcome.
everybody.
Good to see everybody again. We really can't see you, but good. Thanks for tuning in again to another episode of As the Law Turns. Yay!
Yes, we missed you guys last week, but a lot happened, so we weren't able to come on. But we are here this week and
Yes,
excited.
yes, we're excited.
We got some cool topics that are a little interesting and I think are a little underrepresented in the atmosphere right now. And I say that because I hadn't heard anything about it until I actually like went and actively looked for a topic for us because you guys haven't been sending us any more topics.
Oh, they don't mean it, Judge Vivian. They just got busy. They're out now as COVID is releasing
I
and
agree.
spring is sprung and everybody's out doing stuff now. And
Oh,
walking because gas is at $17 a gallon, but that's a whole nother topic.
that
Yes.
is another topic for another time that
Yes.
we will have to address eventually. But we are so excited because, like I said, this is an underrepresented topic that I was kind of excited to talk about because I'm like, what? This is actually happening out here in these streets. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh, we have to talk about this on the show. So I sent it over to Judge Fields, our great co-host. Now, for
Yay.
those that you have not been with us before, I've gotten ahead of myself. This is As the
Yes.
Law Turns. We are so excited to have you here with us. We are so excited for you to be here. We basically talk about regular, everyday, current legal topics, and we kind of give you a little bit of a legal spin on it without going too deep into the legalese. But we give you an opportunity to interact, ask questions, and then we'll respond as best of our knowledge. Now, both of us are licensed attorneys. Yay. But
Yay.
Judge Dawn was an actual former
Yes.
sitting judge. So that
Yay.
means she like presided over cases. I just stood in her courtroom for a little bit. But it was an honor nonetheless. And we are excited to just represent Black American, or just in general, Black um, esquires, as only 5% are Black in the United States. So we're very excited to be here. Thank you guys for joining us. Now, let's get back into the topic because I really am oddly excited about this topic because of the nature of the topic.
And we
So,
want you all
everyone,
to join in. This is an interactive show that Judge Vivian said this is a brainchild she created. And it's just not us talking, even though we can talk up a storm because we are trial attorneys. We can talk about anything forever, but we want you all to join in. The
yes,
purpose of this show is to spur interest in talking about legal topics. So hopefully you can go to law school or something law related. So that being said, Judge Vivian.
exactly. So, we today are talking about something that I think is going to affect a lot of different people. Well, pretty much everybody. So, the majority of the population, not everybody, but the majority of the population has some form of social media. And that's either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok now. I'm trying to come up with some that I may be forgetting. LinkedIn, YouTube. There's
Facebook Live.
Discord, Facebook. Yes, Discord. There's some others, and I'm failing to probably list all of them, but those are the ones that I am familiar with and I know and am on, or one or the other. So your face is out there. You've taken photographs. You put your face out there on the internet. You have shown your family doing, scuba diving, all of these things. So now your face is out there. Well, if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you now. When you post your social media posts, and this is not legal advice, so read the ticker. When you post your social media posts, you essentially are giving some form of consent to these sites to disperse and or reuse your posts, whether that be picture, video. Now, there are some laws that also give you some licensing over those pictures and or video, but those are it's a tight web, guys. Just if anything happens, deal with an attorney. That's going to be the best way I'm going to say it. But just to give you a little bit of knowledge, you do give away some rights when you place your videos, your pictures on these social sites. That being said, a lot of people then use photos, as you have seen. Some people's photos get hacked or their Facebooks get hacked, and all of a sudden you see some your friend's picture on a fake robot page or a fake page that some other person created. And let's just say that fake pages weren't the only people doing this. So there's this service called Clearview AI, which was collecting people's photos from the internet, such as these social sites, and was using those photos in advertisements for their products, or using them as what we consider stock photos. I know most people have heard of that term in their social media, their marketing, their advertisements, basically taking people's photos because they are public-ish. Is that going to be the
I
word of
like
the
it.
night?
Public. It's public-ish. That means it's not really public, but it's out there for use, kind of, sort of. So that's the word that Judge Vivian has created. Public-ish. I like it.
Public-ish. So it's
Public-ish.
somewhat public, but it's not really public. It's public-ish, you guys. And because of the public-ish nature of it, they've been using them for quite some time. Well, somebody got a hold of this and was like, "What?" I'm gonna get a little out of character here. They was like, "What?" They was like, "How dare you use my stuff without my permission? Who is you?" And they sued. The fun thing that we lawyers like. And so now there has
And
been.
Clearview said, I'll tell you who I is. I went on social media. I collected all these pictures and I'm using them. How much more answers do you want? You're on social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And I needed a picture of a Black female, 60 years old, who looks 30. So I took a picture of you, Judge Fields, and now I'm using you to advertise whatever. Well, you didn't ask my permission. You're right. I didn't. I didn't. That's the issue. That's the issue. So now, what control do I have over my image? What control do I have over you using my image? Looks like very little.
To some extent, yet in a recent case, this particular it's actually a facial recognition startup. So they actually, if most people that have iPhones, I'm not sure if they're in Android, and no, that's really not an attack towards Android users. I just honestly don't know. I've never had an Android. I've never had one. I can't say something I've never had. So with iPhone users, if you ever taken a picture and notice that the picture will tell you or select certain faces and notice the faces, and so after a while it'll start to compile photo albums of that person's face, or say, hey, this is the person that comes up a lot, recognize. Okay, so facial recognition system is what this was that was being used. And now that they're going to have to settle, they decided to settle rather after a county judge in Chicago ended a 2-year-old lawsuit that says that there is some violation of digital privacy laws of Illinois. And because of that, they're going to have to stop randomly picking people's faces.
In some cases, they can use it. They can use it in police work or can't use it in police work. They can use it in police work. They can sell these stock photos, if you will, to agencies.
Yes,
and say you're looking for 60-year-old Black females with long hair, so we can see who the real perpetrator is, so we can put together what we call a 6-pack, 6 pictures that kind of look alike. Looks like Clearview can still do that. Now, let me say this. One of the purposes of this show is to get your feedback, not just entertaining you, not just passing knowledge. We want to know what you think about these different subjects and to get you thinking about how law absolutely affects everything we do. We've talked about how you raise your kids, where you can live, driver's license, personal abortion issues, who you can marry, when you can marry. Now we're talking about my photo, something common, ordinary, everyday, like my photo is on a billboard somehow advertising something, and I didn't want this. I didn't get permission to do this. So what we say all the time, this law affects everybody. So we need, your comments and input.
Yes.
What?
And we're going to do a quick interjection here. Our attorney of the night is on. She had a little computer trouble, guys, so we're excited to
Yay.
have her here. Dina Thomas.
Yay.
Hi, thank you for
Thomas.
having me.
Now, I'm going to give a quick
Awesome.
overview. I usually let the attorney give their own overview, but I want to interject a little snippet here, just a pinch.
Okay.
So, Dana Thomas, I call her the trademark fairy godmother. I don't know if she wants to be called that, but that's what I become. And law firm coach mentor. She happens to be my law firm coach mentor. So I'm extremely excited to have her on tonight. And she helps young lawyers such as myself open their own virtual law firms in the business law sector, which is pretty cool, you guys. So she does trademarks, copyrights, contracts. And when I tell you, baby, she does it, she does it. She's not like a little, not dabbling, she get her done. So
I appreciate that.
even though, we're in the same field, she bomb. I'm getting to her level. Don't hate, but we get
No,
there.
I appreciate that. What an awesome introduction. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today. Judge Dawn, very nice
Hello,
to meet
Miss
you.
Dina. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for
Excellent.
having me. And I'm just
Excellent.
happy to be here.
Excellent.
Good.
So we're
Excellent.
talking about
And
facial
where is Miss Thomas? Where does she practice?
Oh, yes. I practice in Atlanta. However, I service clients throughout the entire United States. Trademark, copyright, or federal. So no matter what state you are in, we can work together as it relates to your brand.
Nice. Now, do you have to be licensed? We say barred to practice in every state, Miss Thomas, Attorney Thomas?
So typically, yes. However, there are some areas of law that is federal, so that the federal government controls, which is trademarks. Trademarks is a federal aspect of the law. And so once you are sworn in, right, to practice federally, which I am, then you are able to work with clients in any state as it relates to federal matters, which is trademarks and copyright, because they are governed by federal law, not state law. So there are state trademarks, though, however, but I don't dabble so much in state trademarks because the real value is federal trademarks.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we've been talking about facial recognition systems and your protection-ish. That's how I'm going to call it. I'm going to be doing a lot of making up of words tonight.
Okay.
A protection-ish of those rights once you post to social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, basically saying, yes, it's yours, but
do I own it? Can I control it? Do I own it? I'm walking down the street and their billboard with my picture plastered up there. I guess I need to call a lawyer, right, Attorney Thomas?
Absolutely.
To say, what's going on?
Yeah. So this is the thing, right? So there's two worlds. There's the legal world, and then there's also the real world, which we hope to think that the legal world is the real world, but it's not always the same, right? So, and the reason why I say that is because legally, yes, are there protections for someone utilizing your image and your copyrights and all that? Absolutely, there's protections. Realistically, the only person that can get someone to stop doing something is a judge. And the process to even get to the judge could be years, right? So knowing that, even though at the end of the day, if someone is utilizing your name, your likeness, your photo, whatever it may be, you see it on a billboard, even though you may be completely in the right about that, right? And the law is on your side, for there really to be anything done about it, that might take some years, a year at least, or some years for a judge to make a final decision on that matter. So dabbling in the real world, right? You want to make sure that you don't put anything out there that is too private, right? That you would be so detrimental to your brand or whatever it may be, because people do take stuff online. And I don't believe it's always malicious. Sometimes it is, but I think a lot of it is a lack of education, right? Because people think that, oh, there's a photo online, I can just copy it and save it to my computer and use it to promote my product, because it's online. Online means it's the, public domain. People think that, intuitively, but that is not true, right? So it can happen to anyone. So yes, although the law may be on your side in the legal world, right? And if it gets to a judge, you'll win. It will be so much money and so much time for you to even get to a judge. So make sure that you are, protecting yourself from the beginning.
Well, I could get on my old fashioned soapbox because I'm the old one in the group. The things that sometimes y'all post and do on the internet and the Twitter and the Twatter and the Facebook and the Facebook Live, it's scandalous. And in a northern format, I would say you get what you deserve. But my judge lawyer hat says it's a shame that someone can use your likeness or your image or your shadow or your feature or your physique or your outline to make money. But just like Attorney Thomas says, by the time you get to court and a judge maybe decides in your favor, someone has made thousands of millions and your stuff is out there. You can't unring the bell. So lesson in this, I don't know. Be careful what you post. Yeah. See, I'm one of those old school. Let me go. I don't like Facebook because your life is just not that interesting to me. And my life is not that interesting to you. If I want you to know something, I'll shoot you a picture. I'll send you an email or something. I don't spend my time looking at pictures of you in the park. However, I don't care. A lot of people do. Please understand, like Attorney Thomas has said, you may have a legal recourse, but sometimes legal recourse and the real world sometimes don't mesh as much as we need to. Once again, one of the purposes of the show is to get you thinking legally. Not everybody wants to be a lawyer, a litigation or a trademark or copyright infringement lawyer. Not every, but if you start thinking about how is law related to me and how I'm related to law, you'll live your life a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly. Absolutely. And in one of the cases we're talking about tonight, as Attorney Thomas said, it took 2 years before this judge came to the conclusion that some of these agencies should not have the ability to pull your pictures from social media and the internet. And it's still not a complete ruling that it's not all agencies. According to the article, the Brio article, agencies such as federal agencies such as the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other law enforcement agencies and government contractors are able to still pull them. So that's just, one of the thoughts of how your pictures go on the internet. And no one is exempt, as in our second topic tonight. Paparazzis are suing, or is it paparazzi? Is it paparazzi?
Paparazzi.
Now, you've been making up words all day. Now you want to know the correct pronunciation of something? Really?
I don't have my shades tonight, but you throwing
paparazziism. Okay.
Paparazzi.
So I think it's paparazzi. They are suing celebrities who are posting the photos that they took of the celebrity. Now, this one I found extremely I was like, what? But then I remember copyright. They own, of course, the legal copyright of these photographs because they applied with the Federal Agency of Copyright, which is the United States Copyright Office. And because of that, they can ask these celebrities to not post the photos that they took that are of the celebrities themselves. Now, because we have, one of the copyright greats here with us. I'll just go ahead and throw her up on the screen and let her have at this topic real fast. I'm gonna go grab my shades too, guys.
Yes.
So I feel like there is going to be a nation divided when it comes to this topic, because I totally can see both sides, right? I really can understand the celebrity side in that, hey, like I am just posting on social media a picture of myself, right? Why should I get sued of that? I'm not really using this to make money. And then I also, as a copyright lawyer, I get it, because the concept and the basis of copyright ownership is whoever creates it owns it, right? And so I think this boils down to loopholes in the law and just not enough case law on the matter, right? Because when I'm thinking about the paparazzi that are taking these photos of celebrities, and then they are selling these photos for thousands of dollars to these publications, right? That to me sounds like unfair business practices. While they do have it within their right, to copyright, right? They do own the copyright for that because they took the picture. We understand that. But the issue for me is that they can freely just sell that picture to a third party for whatever price that they want. And that picture only has value not because of the photographer. So the photographer does not add any type of value to the amount that is being paid, in my opinion. The value is who the picture is of, right? And so if it's a D-list celebrity, it's not going to cost as much as A-list celebrity, right? So it really is the celebrity that is creating the value for that photo. However, it's not the celebrity that's getting any part of that money, right? It's the photographer. So I think that, to me, that sounds like unfair business practices. And typically, I'm sure most of this is happening in California. And I actually did a little bit of research. I'm not a California attorney, I'm a Georgia attorney. But when I did a little bit of research on this, what I found was that California does have an unfair business practices law, and it's pretty broad. I didn't read any case law about it. I'm sure case law will help to define what unfair actually is, but or maybe there's not enough case law to say what unfair actually is as it relates to celebrities and paparazzi. It's only when these celebrities are going to start really suing these paparazzi, like the paparazzi are suing these celebrities, for this case law to be created, right? So if this article is interesting and relevant now, because this seems to be something new, right? We have not heard of that before, that paparazzi are suing celebrities for use of their own images, right? We haven't heard that. So there's likely no case law on it, right? No, it might be none. It may be one or two cases that might help with some direction. But I think if there was case law on it, then we would already know the decision, because it would have already been decided. I think it's the same thing as it relates to whether paparazzi selling photos of celebrities is unfair business practices. There have not been any, or if enough, celebrities that have sued these for us to really know whether it actually is unfair business practices. So
Attorney Thomas, are you talking about a photo? It's not. The photo is not depicting that I'm doing something wrong. It's just a photo of Oprah, and Oprah can't post that photo of herself, that same photo, because the paparazzi own it. It is the photo.
Well, I'm saying that decision has not been made yet, right? That has not been answered yet. That is what's going to be answered whenever this has a final decision, right? Because one argument is that is not the spirit of the law, right? That is not the intention of the law. The law was not intended for this purpose, right? One other argument or defense is fair use, right? It's fair use. They're not using this picture and slapping it on a product, right? Or putting it, wherever they're directly making money. They're putting it on social media. Everybody uses photos of everybody on social media. And you can I think it's reasonable to know that people are taking pictures from all over on social media. Social media is not yet monetized in a way where people have to pay to see a picture, right? And so there's those 4 factors of fair use, right? I'm going to try to, from what I remember, like how much of the the work is being used, right? So we know the whole work is being used, all the picture. How much it takes away from the original work, right? Takes away from the value of the original work. Now, I think that photo on social media by the celebrity does take away from the value of the work, because if it's already on their social media, it's already been leaked, right? There's no point that someone would pay for that picture because it's already on there. However, I think that it's still fair use in terms of that factor because it's being posted by the person who the picture is of, right?
So if I get a picture of Oprah wearing a Gucci,
if you take a picture of her,
I can use that picture and say Oprah wears Gucci legitimately, and she really currently can't sue me. I own the picture.
No. So you're adding more facts. You're adding more facts, right?
Okay.
Because do you own that picture? Yes, right?
Yes.
If you are associating that picture with Oprah wearing Gucci, now it sounds like Oprah is endorsing Gucci, right? Not just that she's wearing it. It sounds, because you're bringing attention to that, it sounds like she's now endorsing Gucci, which is misrepresentation, and that is, in fact, unfair. It's unfair business practices.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, there's some nuance to it.
So guys, we're thinking about it. I think about it from your own perspective. Like, we're not saying we're famous and nobody gonna sell our pictures or nothing, but what if you did have a friend who took a photo shoot of you? They got a lot of reviews from posting your photo. So you said, hey, I'm gonna share my photo, and was like, I remember this time when I took a photo shoot. And then your friend sued you and said, no, that was my picture.
Wow.
That's essentially what is happening in some respect here, except they're not friends.
Yeah, and that's why we have fair use, right? So that people don't go too crazy with suing each other. I took this picture, you took this picture. And what is the picture being used for, right? Because we know that sharing news and information and anything that's newsworthy is the First Amendment, right? So that's why the media gets a lot of protection. They can, the news people, the news broadcasters, they can pretty much use whatever of whoever about whatever, as long as it's newsworthy. That's the First Amendment. But I mean, I don't see that here, which is why this is not a conversation about like the tabloids and the blogs. Why can the tabloids and the blogs use these pictures? That's a totally different story. They can use that because that's the First Amendment. It's news, right? But
I'm just curious about why people are curious about Oprah Winfrey on our lawn picking up dog poo. Why?
Ma'am.
Why is but I'm not an Oprah Winfrey fan. So
I think it's because a lot of times people put Oprah on a pedestal, like she doesn't do anything. She's just like this, superhuman
anybody, whatever, some celebrity, the president picking up dog poo. Why is that a sellable issue? Why are we so jaded and starstruck that we really will sell a picture?
Why do we buy ripped pants when we could just buy the
like
pants hole and then cut holes in the pants ourselves if we wanted to rip them? There's a lot of why questions.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. People are just, when that brings to mind, and that's a conversation about why are people interested in the silliest things. So I actually had a conversation today about a musical artist that was trying to break into the industry. They were trying to figure out the TikTok algorithm, right? And posting a lot of content and, a lot of really good content about the music and about, videos and stuff. And it just maybe was getting 2,000 views, maybe 3,000. She posts about breaking her nail and it gets almost 1 million views. So
it's weird what people look at. It really is. It's weird.
Yeah, so we don't know why people are intrigued on the thing they're intrigued in, but I know one thing: people are making money in the most unique ways nowadays because of social media and because of people's, weird interests. And it encourages other people to do that as well.
Like watching people eat. That's the weirdest one to me right now. I know there's a lot of one, but there's like a lot of
do what? Some videos watching people eat.
Oh yeah, there's a woman who makes like millions of dollars. She eats crab legs on YouTube, and she's a multi-millionaire.
And she's like
eating on crab legs, like messy juice falling down her arms, and millions of views, millions of dollars.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. So, and the funny part though about let's getting back to the topic real fast. The funny part about the paparazzis is they're not just like suing, as Dana mentioned. They're not just suing, you know, actors and singers that we are not as familiar with. They're suing people like Jennifer Hudson.
Because that's what makes it worth it.
Exactly.
The people who have the money.
Those people, I can't even pronounce her name. I am so sorry to her, and I mean nothing by it. Dua Leap. I should have looked it up so I could pronounce it right.
I don't know. I
but
can't pronounce it
she's
either.
a famous. She's a current famous singer right now. I want to say it's Dua Lipa, but if I'm wrong, guys, don't hate on me. I'm not trying to be mean to your person. I honestly just don't know how to say her name.
But members of the public understand that we're talking about big celebrities. This is the way things start. And they filter down to each and every one of us in our ordinary daily life. So don't think that we're all starstruck. Me, for one, I don't care anything about stars and celebrity. However, we start with something big to tell you, these are the things that you need to think about or look for or look at, because it does filter down. Some celebrity does something, or some celebrity kids gets kidnapped or killed in a drunken driving. All of a sudden, we have new legislation. New laws, case law made.
And then largely, power, money, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Many factors go into that.
Yeah. One thing that I just thought of, and I did mention it before, but now it kind of clicked for me, is I'm thinking, like, why are these paparazzi even doing this, right? Is it because they just want a payday? I think for a lot of people, it is that. A lot of the paparazzi, they want to find a way to make some more money. I think another thing is that like I mentioned before, if the celebrity posts it, then it's they can no longer sell it, right? So that would completely take away the power of the paparazzi, right? So if all the celebrities, decided to team up and, this is how we're going to combat the paparazzi. We're going to post these pictures before they do, right? So that way we can at least take away their power. I mean, that could work because it's only valuable if it's exclusive.
Exactly. And they're getting
more. It's the only one who has it. Yes.
But then the other thing that I'm thinking of is how are these celebrities even getting the pictures in the first place? So they are not on the computers of these photographers. So my guess is they are getting them because it's already public, right? And so there's already public. So really, like, it's all these. Maybe it is paparazzi just being mad, and trying to make money off of it. I don't like it. Whatever it is, I don't like it. I'm a copyright lawyer. I love copyright protection, but this is not right.
One article in research, pre-show research, that said it's not unusual for a star to call a paparazzi and say, "I'm going to be at this restaurant at 8:00 tonight. If you want to slip by and take a picture."
Oh yeah.
So, I think it gets ridiculous. It gets ridiculous. I'm a vegetarian, and lately I've even stopped eating fish and chicken. I was a pescatarian. It's about a week ago, and so fish. So anyway, I'm looking for these different cheeses and stuff. Like I went to this certain store, got my creamy Harbate cheese, kind of looked it up to see what's going on, and there's a lawsuit because creamy Harbate is a cheese made from goat's milk from Holland. And so now these American companies are claiming creamy Harbate cheese, and the Holland goat people are saying, you can't do that. Creamy Harbate is I said, wow. From ridiculous to sublime. Because the name Harbate, creamy Harbate, is a special kind of cheese made from goats in Holland. Okay.
Wow.
Intriguing. I'm not a vegan. I won't be a vegan. I like meat. That's not going to happen. I don't understand that. I don't comprehend that. Does not comprehend. This is a pretty cool topic, though, and I think that it's going to filter down. The reason why I was so intrigued by this topic is because, as I mentioned in the beginning, social media. We post so much of our own stuff out here on a consistent basis. Trying to, either gain popularity or in some respects, as we've been talking about, how much money you can make on social media through these social media posts and activities. So it kind of, anytime you start to think about how laws are going to affect how we train or how we utilize social media, I kind of am like curious because I'm going to give the stats because this is pretty intriguing to me, because about 58.4% of people use social media. That's approximately 4.62 billion people with a B, guys, around the world that now use social media. Approximately 424 million new users, so that's new users, have come within the last 12 months. And the average daily time spent using social media is 2 hours and 27 minutes
Wow.
a day.
Interesting
Wow.
stats.
I know. I was like, that's literally half of the world population.
Attorney Thomas, can you see a trend? Can you predict where we're going in the next 5 or 6 years with social media and lawsuits, or it's just something hot right now, and after a while, nobody care? Post pictures, don't post pictures. Are we going wild, or nobody will care after a while? What's the trend? What are we doing?
I don't think anybody will care because I feel like social media helps. To me, it helps more than it hurts, especially if you utilize it the right way. I think a lot of people don't utilize it the right way, right? Like I agree with you. When you're posting about you being in the park or walking your dog, I don't care for that either, right? But I do like the people who are motivational, right? So then when you wake up and then you see somebody whose page is dedicated to mental wellness, right? And they're posting affirmations and they're posting pictures of sunrises and saying something positive, or maybe someone who is educating about the things that we educate about, right? And so maybe business owners are often looking at my page or your page, Vivian, and seeing things that they can learn from in order to help their business. So I think that there is a lot of benefit to social media for sure. But I also think that people are not utilizing it right. They're taking it too seriously, right? There, it seems like the amount of followers you have has some type of bearing on how good of a person you are or how successful you are. Listen, I know people who have millions of followers and make no money. I know I have clients who have millions of followers and make no money, right? And there are some clients who only have a few thousand and make good money because they know how to utilize social media to speak to the right audience, to say the right words, right? So there are people that are misusing it. But I think overall it's a good thing. I think that there needs to be more education on how to use social media in order to help you achieve your goals and your dreams in life, and not just to be super nosy about what other people are doing.
I'm gonna be honest. There are some moments where I am super nosy. I'd be like, "Oh, I liked her dress today." You know?
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest. I have my moments where I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." I do have a few groups where I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what they posted today." I agree though that we should be using it in different ways. Guys, don't forget this is interactive. You usually commenting like crazy. Leave
Yeah,
your
there's
comments,
nobody with it.
leave your
I don't know.
questions. We talk about them online. But yeah, we're just on here chit chatting about tonight about facial recognition and how that affects the law and what the changes are going to be. I kind of agree with Attorney Thomas. I think it's going to become like null and void, largely because I think it's not going to stop. Like we're moving into the metaverse now, where they're creating an entirely social world that will literally everybody and their mama now getting NFTs.
yeah, there's so many people that are making millions off of social media and you have no talent, right? You're really not doing anything. I think there was a stat that there's more young millionaires now than there ever was, right? Like under 30 millionaires, right? Because not just people who are influencers, but those who are utilizing social media to sell their courses or their products or their whatever it might be. So there's a lot of millennial millionaires because of social media.
Wow.
Exactly.
And
So
that's good.
I'm not mad at that.
No, there are good uses. I do Tabata exercise, hit training, high intensity training on social media. I listen to that, right there. I don't cook. And so my husband gets tired of cooking vegan, and vegetarian. So I'm on the internet watching. But you said it's abuse. It's terms of abuse. And we're suit happy as it is. You offend me, I'm going to sue you. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we're going to end up.
about social and it's so interesting. We got from copyright to social media, but it is related. Because everything that you post is copyright, right? Because it's content, it's creative works of art and authorship. But what I was gonna mention about social media is the part that saddens me about it is that people really do take it to heart. So there's so many different opinions. There's so many people that are giving their opinions as if it's like the end all be all of you should do this for your business. If you are not spending $10,000 on your business every month, then you are not working hard enough. If you don't feel completely exhausted from your day, then you don't deserve to be successful. Like, it drives me crazy when I see all of that. And then people really do take that to heart and they adjust their lives based on someone from Timbuktu who they have no idea who that person really is, right? But because they have a lot of followers, they assume that that person knows what they're talking about. So I think that's a little dangerous, as it relates to social media. So I do hope there's some censoring in that way. I don't even know how that could even be possible because people do have freedom of speech and you have the choice to see who you follow. But that's the part that really bothers me because I see people shaming. I follow a lot of entrepreneurs and business stuff, and I see people who are supposed to be coaches shaming other people for not doing something a certain way. In turn, it's a marketing strategy so that that person can start doing something else that they're selling, right? So I don't like that. That's not right. So I'm hoping there's some change in some way with that, or at least some type of education to people so they can have more discernment and be more aware. But I see that a lot.
Well, like Judge Vivian and I have talked about, the practice of law is different now. I've retired like a year and a half ago. One of the things that kind of encouraged me to retire, this everything electronic, no paper, no hands-on. And so the practice of law for you all now is just so different. You have to be on social media. You have to have that presence. Because to me, at first I thought that's cheapens. A lawyer being on social media, that's for the Facebook 12 and 13 years old. But Judge Vivian has educated me a lot in the last year and a half. Y'all got to be out there. Y'all get out there with the hair and the twist and funny and active and just not just bright, intelligent, because you're boring. You have to be funny and quirky. And I don't know what's going on.
I believe in a happy medium. I love that you said that. This is a great conversation. I believe in that happy medium, right? Because yes, I do agree that not participating in social media is not helpful for the business. You have to, like, it's there. That's where people are. So for example, the work that I do, my clients are entrepreneurs. Where are entrepreneurs? They are online promoting their business, right? So I have to be there with them. But I know that when I started my law firm out of law school, and then I was starting teaching these certain strategies, when I would be in these lawyer groups where often I was the youngest one, they'd be like, what is she doing? Why is she doing it like this? Why is she on social media? Why is she going live? Who does she think she is?
That would be me.
Your law firm right out of law school. You don't even have any experience.
She cute. Oh, that would be me.
So I'm not mad because it's you don't know any different because that's the law is still a white man's world, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do it a certain way, and a lot of times, women, especially Black women, may feel like we have to diminish ourselves a little bit or be a little more conservative in order to fit in, right? But I think that with social media, we're starting to show like, no, I don't really have to do that. And my client might not be the multi-million-dollar company, right? But my client might be, my niche is these entrepreneurs that are about 5 years in business and they have, maybe they're making 10 to 15 or 10 to $20,000 a month on their business. They're not millionaires yet, right? So the stuffy people, the stuffy lawyers, go ahead and go after those millionaires and Fortune 100 and 500 companies. That's not my audience, right? And those people are really looking for the most serious of the serious. But the audience that I have are ones that have never talked to a lawyer before in their life, right? And it's so intimidating to talk to a lawyer. So if I'm all suit and tied and speaking completely professional and calling them Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, they're going to be so intimidated. They don't even want to talk to me because they're scared to sound stupid, right? But if they can connect with me through social media, you can see my page. I'm a human being just like you are. I get inspired by this. This is my story. This is my son. This is my family. Where, they feel more connected to you because entrepreneurs really are passion driven. That's why they're entrepreneurs in the first place, because they're not following the status quo, they're following their passion. And so those are people that connect with vibes, right? So if I'm a person that believes that I have to be who I am and follow, my passion, I'm gonna connect with clients, in that way. On the other hand, however, I do not believe in being silly on social media, right? I think that everything should be intentional. I never want anyone to think that I'm too silly to give me $10,000 to do a job, right? Yeah, I want that, right? But if a client has $10,000 to invest in 4, 5, 6 trademarks, right? They're going to pick someone that they believe knows what they're doing, right? And they're going to pick someone that is professional, but also down to earth, right? If they see, all these funky, I'm dressed like a chicken online because I'm just going for followers and views, right? That looks way too silly. I'm still a lawyer, and they still want to know that I can help them get their business to where it needs to be. So to wrap it up, yes, I believe it's important to embrace social media, right? Be out there, be more open, vulnerable, but strategically, right? Show them what you want them to know about you, but at the same time, don't go always with the trends, right? It's not about getting the most views. It's not about getting the most likes. It's about the person. It's about creating the image that you want online. That's what it's about.
Let me ask you this. If I take that clip that what you said, I'm dressed in a chicken suit, I'm dressed in a chicken suit, I'm dressed in a chicken suit, and publish that, is that an issue?
Trademark, copyright infringement?
I don't know. Is that an issue?
Okay. So is that what, as it relates to copyright infringement?
Yes, because you just said,
okay.
I don't want to be in a chicken suit. And if I take that phrase, I'm in a chicken suit, I'm in a chicken suit, I'm in a chicken suit, and publish that on my social media, is that a problem?
Probably not, right? The reason why, okay, so for one, we co-own this recording because we're all creating it, right? So when you co-own something, we each can do whatever we want to do with it. We all have a non-exclusive license to it. So you can do whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, I can do whatever I want. The only way that we can change that is if there's a contract that grants some type of exclusive license to someone, right? So no, it wouldn't be an issue, but say you weren't a part of this conversation, right? And you wanted to take that clip. Now we're looking at, okay, so yes, it could be a copyright matter, but do you have a defense, right? Is your defense fair use, right? So we look at, okay, am I making money from this? No, I'm not making money from this. So you're not really taking away from anything by posting it, right? So you're not diminishing what I could have made had you not posted it, because I'm not making anything from this, right? So that is on the side of it is fair use. Remember, fair use is factors. And then number two, how much is being used, right? This conversation is probably going to be an hour long. And if you took that 5-second clip, that's 5 seconds out of a whole hour, right? So that's on the side of fair use. Now, we also look at what is the value of that clip, right? Now, say this whole conversation went viral, and the only thing people are talking about is what I just said as it relates to the chicken. And that is the reason why everything went viral, right? Now, does that 2 seconds have so much value? Yes, that's on the side of it's not fair use. Even though it's 2 seconds, that's the most valuable part of this whole 60-minute conversation because that's what made it go viral, right? But if that's not what made it go viral, that's just 2 seconds. And, nobody cares about that part. What they really cared about was when we were talking about this paparazzi stuff, right? Then that's now on the side of fair use, right? So it's factors. Everything is it just depends.
And I bring it back to what we said at the beginning of the show. Law affects everyone. This same 3 women that you're seeing here, members of the public, can be owning a hair salon, a chicken factory, a clothing store. We're making a video, and Miss Thomas decides to use the phrase, I'm a chicken, I'm a chicken, I'm a chicken, I'm a chicken, because she has rights to it, because we're all on social media. Back to what I said, everybody needs to think about law, be involved in law, think about how law affects you, because it affects everything you do and say and feel and speak. And
right.
Good point. Good point.
Seriously. I hate we have to go. But we are well over our time actually tonight. But I was like, oh, this is good.
I know. You can't stop her. She was wonderful. It was
Oh, thank you.
wonderful.
So
Thank you.
once again, we are excited.
Timely,
And I
timely.
just want to point out one thing. I'm going to put this up. As we know on our show, according to the American Bar Association, 88% of all lawyers in the United States are white and only 5% are Black. And so as Attorney Thomas mentioned tonight, you know, we're trying to show that, hey, we are out here. We may be the 5% currently, but we're hoping to increase that number and move forward. I don't think I have a side tonight though, Judge. Do you think you have a side? I think I'm in between. I got my gavel, but I think I
don't know. I don't want to side with the paparazzis because there's a whole industry and privacy and, you know, the death that occurred by the, you know, the people that were chased by the paparazzi. So I don't know. I don't know what, and I understand that you're making money off of gossip and people's curiosity about other people's lives. I ain't mad at that. But I don't know where I come down. I don't know. I don't know. Should celebrities be responsible for their likeness and have control of their likeness? I don't know. You're out there. I don't know.
And celebrities do get less privacy protection because they put themselves out there. So when it comes to violation of privacy, they get the least amount of protection because you're a celebrity. You put yourself out there. So people are going to talk and you should expect that.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I think I'm in the air. Why are we in the middle so much lately? We used to be able to go.
I don't know. We need some Gorilla Glue stories again. Woman with Gorilla Glue track. No, okay.
Well, I'm on the side of the celebrities. Yeah, I'm on the side.
Really?
I mean, the paparazzi have been taking advantage of them for so long. It has always been a issue, and now that they're starting to feel that, they want to start suing. Come on, like. I'm on the side of. I hope the celebrities win. You know, it's not like the celebrities.
I do feel sorry for them because, you know, celebrity doesn't mean I have no rights. I give up everything. You know, they can't even go to the, you know, the local bakery to get a cup of coffee, walk their kids to school.
It's like they're selling the photos. They're just posting on social media. So I hope they end up winning.
So guys, if you had a great time with us tonight, like us, share us. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. I'm like everywhere. So don't pretend like y'all don't know I'm here. So,
and Miss Thomas is everywhere. She can practice everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Right. So follow us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. Share, like, repost. You can even help us come up with our next topic of next week. We are so excited to have Attorney Thomas on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Fairy godmother.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And we hope you guys join us for another episode of As the Law Turns in the Future.
Thanks for your time. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.